I'd like to call this meeting to order. If you would follow along with the Pledge of Allegiance and invocation from Mr. Martin.
Good evening, Mayor and Board. Please join me in prayer. Our most gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for another beautiful day here in the Ozarks, and thankful for so many blessings that have been around the Branson area the last couple of weeks, from the Veterans Week to the Adoration Parade last night to the Christmas Day just around the corner. Tonight we come before you with the agenda, just asking that you'll be present and through all the discussion and the topics, that all we do tonight would be in honoring and glorifying to you. Father, we love you, praise you, in Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Ted. Madam Clerk, take a roll call, please.
Lucas. Denham.
Here.
Cooper. Milton.
Here.
Howden. LeBlanc. Here. Schultz.
Here.
Your Honor, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Tonight we have both the Employee of the Month and the Employee of the Year recognitions. We'll start with Lieutenant Jones, presenting our Building Security Officer, Erica Burns, as the Employee of the Month for December 2024. This way.
Outstanding. Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Board. Right now I'm going to talk about our wonderful building security officer. On behalf of the Mayor and the Board of Aldermen and City staff, it is my honor to announce the Building and Security Officer, Erica Burns, as the City of Branson December 2024 Service and Excellent Employee of the Month. Erica has excelled in her new role, creating a professional yet welcoming workspace. She interacts with both guests and colleagues with respect and courtesy, always going above and beyond to assist others. Whether helping with packages or loading cars, her thoughtful actions reflect her commitment to service. Erica's attention to detail and commitment to improvement make her an invaluable asset, from creative ideas to thoughtful decorations. She exemplifies integrity in her work, always acting with honesty and maintaining a high standard of professionalism. Erica is an inspiration and a shining example of the qualities we value. Erica is one of those, she's basically the face of City Hall. She's the first person you meet whenever you come in, and she does us proud. We are very happy to have her. Thank you very much. And we have...
Oh my gosh, too funny. Okay, where are we?
Congratulations, Erica. Next, we have Lieutenant Jones is going to, and the Human Resource Director, Haley, will present the Employee of the Year Award.
Yes, sir. There we go. Am I going to do mine first? Yep. Okay. Instead of regurgitating what the chief did a couple months ago, Sergeant Coughlin, would you come down here? I like this, especially whenever the police department gets to monopolize the first part of your meeting, Mr. Mayor. This is Sergeant Stanley Kaufman. Has been with the police department for 16 years? 17 years. See how time flies. He was actually my sergeant when I was support service. Worked lockstep with him. He's a great guy to work with. But instead of regurgitating it, basically we had an incident where a family had a death. And basically it was very messy, and basically Sergeant Kaufman spent his own time consoling the family, making sure arrangements for the deceased were made, even stayed afterwards to help clean up and everything. And that is just the epitome of what we have as police officers here. It's the dedication and service to our citizens and our community. So with that being said, it is great. This is a special commendation for the Employee of the Year presented to Sergeant Stanley Kaufman in recognition of your outstanding acts of service while representing the City of Branson.
Mr. Smithers. You ready? It's my honor to stand before you today as we celebrate our Employee of the Year, Bob Smither. This moment is a testament not only to Bob's remarkable talents and dedication, but to the profound impact Bob has on our organization and our community over the last year. Bob consistently goes above and beyond. He shows outstanding initiative, a willingness to take on any challenge, and an incredible ability to lead through even very difficult, complex situations. He is proactive. His proactive approach to managing risk and his commitment to teamwork strengthen our operations and inspire us. Time and again, Bob has shown us what true excellence looks like. This award is more than just recognition. It's a celebration of someone who embodies the very values we hold dear here: integrity, innovation, and dedication to making a meaningful difference. So Bob, on behalf of the entire team, thank you for all that you've done and you continue to do. You inspire us with your tireless efforts and the example you set every day. This award is incredibly well-deserved, and we're very proud to have you as part of our team. Thank you.
One more. Hold on.
HR needs their own photo.
Very nice. Moving on, I have proclaimed the week of December 13th through the 20th as Terry Bradshaw Week in Branson, Missouri. I'm going to read a proclamation that I'll be presenting to Terry this week, and afterwards we have a little video to show. So, whereas it is recognized that Terry Bradshaw first entered the national spotlight as the #1 draft pick in the 1970 NFL Draft as a quarterback out of Louisiana Tech. He was selected by the Pittsburgh Steelers and led a successful winning reign over a decade. The 1970 Steelers are here to this day one of NFL's most iconic dynasties, right after the Chiefs. I added that in. With 4 Super Bowl champions. This winning career led Bradshaw to be enshrined in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And whereas shortly after his playing career, Bradshaw became one of the most well-known NFL analysts for over 30 years, and when he was inducted into the Sports Broadcasting Hall of Fame. However, this wasn't the only entertainment sector that Bradshaw would excel in. Bradshaw would end up recording 6 musical albums in the genres of country and gospel music, and has his version of "I'm So Lonely I Could Cry" chart on the Billboard Top 20. Whereas Terry's career spanning football, television, films, notably in Cannonball Run alongside his dear friend and Branson's legend Mel Tillis, and music would earn him a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and led him all the way to the Clay Cooper Theater in Branson, Missouri. And whereas Mr. Bradshaw never misses an opportunity to tell the country how much he loves our community. Now, therefore, I, Larry Milton, Mayor of the City of Branson, Missouri, do hereby proclaim this week of December 13th through 20th as Terry Bradshaw Week. Chad?
This is going to go off the rails. I just already know it. We got football legend Terry Bradshaw. He played 14 seasons in the NFL, winning 4 Super Bowls, and, of course, earning a spot in the Hall of Fame.
We're laughing already. You know it's going to be a good time. Terry has continued to be a staple on Sundays, serving as an analyst on Fox NFL Sunday for the past 3 decades.
Well, now he's going from the studio to the stage for the Terry Bradshaw Show.
Aww.
It's a live residency in Branson, Missouri, filled with music and memories. And Terry is here this morning to tell us
Good
all
morning,
about it.
Dylan.
Good morning.
Thank you, Laura. Al.
This sounds
Pleasure.
exciting.
What?
Yeah, I mean,
The show.
you're talking more than just
Oh, the
football.
show is fun.
Like, you've
Not-
got quite the life.
You know what, Dylan? It's not as much football as you probably would think I should do. It's more about life and life's issues. It's fun. It's interaction.
There's music.
And initially, yeah, tons of music. Sing about 9 songs now. Initially, you ready for this, Laura? You went to Harvard Law School, so I know you're. Thought this will impress you. The name of the show originally was Terry Bradshaw, America's favorite dumb blonde, A Life in 4 Quarters. That was the initial title.
That's a lot to
That
say.
didn't work?
Who said
And
no? Who
the
said
show
no to
was,
that?
Dylan, the show was written to come to Broadway.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
how about that? And obviously never made it.
Well, because you changed
So
the
anyway,
title.
but I changed it up.
The amazing thing is Branson has more theater seats than Broadway does.
I don't know. Well,
Yes?
it is so much fun. I started doing Branson 5 years ago, and it was so much fun because it's just mom and pop. They saved their money to come there and see shows and whatever, see the lakes, which are gorgeous. And so I started doing that show there, and well, obviously, we've started going out and doing theaters and casinos around the country. But Branson I'm at the Clay Cooper Theater there, and it's just absolutely a blast.
place.
Love it. Yeah, people say, what do you do? And I say, well, I'm at the Clay Cooper Theater in Branson. So what do? I sing. What? I sing. I got my degree from Yale, but I sing.
Wow.
Why not?
Look at that.
Why not?
Yeah.
That's a shot at you, by
Give
the
the
way.
people what they want, Terry Bradshaw.
So
The 20 appearance deal at Clay Cooper Theater in Branson, Missouri. They call it the smear of the Midwest. They've got 2 people with flashlights in the back of the theater. It's great.
You got 20 shows?
20 shows.
20 additional. Wow. 20
additional.
20 additional. My next one's coming up in 2 weeks. So if you're in Branson, Missouri, I'm inviting you guys. I can get you all in for
Next
half
time
price.
I'm in
Not a
Branson,
problem.
I'll go.
Yeah, you go.
There you go. He speaks for all of us. All right,
Yeah. You know, I perform in Branson at the Clay Cooper Theater.
Oh, yes, I've heard about that.
And
yeah.
I'm going to finish up there in a couple of months. And Howie and I'll come back with my band, and I'll use this one, and I'll sing. Howie and I will sing a song.
Well, Howie will sing?
Absolutely.
All right, if Howie sings, also. Yeah.
If Howie could sing, I'd drop 20 pounds, get some tight jeans, and make a lot of money.
Can I make a request? When you and Howie sing, I'd like Ebony and Ivory to be the song, okay? Think about it. Think about it. Howie Long and Terry Bradshaw.
Thank you.
Fox NFL Sunday, live every week, 12 noon Eastern. We'll be back with Asa
Honey,
Gonzalez.
you can sing this song.
Yeah.
And I'm going, babe, I can't sing that song. So
You can sing anything you want.
So I put songs in the show that she likes because now when I have the audience there, it's me and the audience. It's really an event with me. And so we'll go out on stage, and I'm standing there, and so I said, "Hey, turn the lights up." So they turn the lights up, so I can see the crowd.
Yeah.
And I'm looking, and I'm going, "Oh my God, how many in here are under 70?"
you stop.
Okay, how many in?
Yeah.
And I went, all right. They can't hear me.
Stop.
Hey, they can't see me.
Yes, they can.
They got oxygen bottles on the side.
Oh,
They got their
God.
wheelchair, and I'm like, they're pulling an igloo. I'm like, I'm at a NASCAR race. Igloo with duct tape on them, and I'm going, this is my crowd.
I like a challenge.
Yeah.
All right, we need a break. You can see Terry each week on Fox NFL Sunday and go online for more info about the Terry Bradshaw Show. Upcoming performances include November 13th and December 13th at the Clay Cooper Theater in Branson, Missouri.
Yes.
So, as you can see, I mean, just about every time one of these happened, Clay would text me and Ralph with the video and say, you can't buy this kind of publicity. So just Branson, Missouri, and Clay's name being mentioned on all these national television broadcasts is a huge deal and a huge reason why it's appropriate to honor Terry Bradshaw Week. So thank you, Mr. Mayor.
You bet. Terry's in town this week. I think he's doing a little filming, and he's performing at Clay's Theater on Friday. Right? I think that's pretty cool. This is the public comment section of the Board of Aldermen meeting. At this time, the board will hear citizens who have signed up in the order they are listed. Please note the clerk will let the speakers know when they have 30 seconds left and a notification sound when their time is up. We ask that speakers wrap up their comments upon hearing the 30-second warning. If a speaker would like a board member to bring an item from the consent agenda down for additional discussion, please note this request during your comments. Please come to the freestanding mic and to address the board. Madam Clerk, do we have any speakers tonight?
We have 2 speakers. Our first one is Richie Zaitz speaking on update.
And Richie, while you're coming up, I'm going to ask, well, let me ask it because others may not know what I'm going to say. If you would, begin with what you would like this Board of Aldermen to do, and then explain the reasons for that. Thank you.
Well, there are some changes going on in our government, and people that I feel are very sympathetic to the cause that I keep promoting, which is maintaining life. And that's what brought us all together in the beginning when we started here a few years back. And I would propose that we would expand the parameters of what we already currently have in place, and that the board would review the material which I gave to Artie to see why I keep coming back and why I consider the COVID vaccine a dangerous thing that has a record of killing pregnant women's babies. And also, it shouldn't be administered to children. And that is why I'm here. That's the only reason. And I think y'all are doing a great job. I love all of you. And we've been friends for quite a while. So I pray that a blessing be upon this board in the name of Jesus.
Thank you, Richie. Thank you. Madam Clerk?
Our final speaker is Gary Groman speaking on It Shouldn't Have Happened.
Welcome, Gary.
At the last meeting, one speaker, under the guise of...
Excuse me, Gary, would you pull the mic down so we can all hear you? Thank you.
At the last meeting, one speaker, under the guise of allegedly discussing a proposed code change regarding land disturbance, spent about 98% of his time talking about alleged wrongs in the past and his 21 wives. This board let him ramble on for more than 20 minutes, during which time he said that city staff needs to come out of the dark and into the light by shining a light on the mistakes of the past, and people in city government don't really want to do that. They want to hide it and cover it up. Not in a bad way, but they don't want to take ownership. He made those statements while we're discussing an ordinance that came to you under my signature, and I feel responsible to respond to it. I wasn't here last week. I saw it on the internet and not very pleased. I'm calling bull roar on that. The ordinance that he chose to opine and brag about his 21 wives was sent from your Planning and Zoning Commission to you with my signature as the commission's chairman. As with anything else sent to you with my signature, I accept full ownership and take full responsibility for its contents. In all my dealings with Amanda, Jennifer, and Nikki in the city's planning department about planning commission business, I have never encountered a situation where there was even a suggestion of less than full light and transparency coming to bear in any of our dealings. I bet my life that these 3 ladies will take ownership in whatever they do and don't want to hide or cover up anything. In my dealings with them, I've been impressed by the professionalism, loyalty, and commitment to serving the business and residents, and the personal effort and sacrifice that I have personally seen them go through to do it. In terms of the ordinance and letting the light shine, the public hearing for this land disturbance ordinance was announced per statute in the paper and held on November 7th, 2024. Although the public hearing was held and closed, a vote was not taken on the issue that night because the commissioners wanted more time to consider it. and another meeting was scheduled for November 14th, 2024. In addition, an article announcing the November 14th meeting was published before that meeting. Before voting on the issue at the November 14th meeting, the commission again opened the public hearing to receive comments. I don't know if the speaker was busy with his 21 wives, but I knew, though, that he didn't show up to shine his light during any of those meetings. Based on his own comments at the meeting, I can't help but feel that if he spent as much time doing his due diligence before buying his home as he appears to be doing and trying to shed light on the alleged darkness of the past, his current position would be very different. In addition, about 98% of what he spoke about had nothing to do with the agenda item. You let him go on for over 20 minutes, and that should not have happened. Full transparency is one thing, abuse of process is another, and this guy seems bright enough to know the difference. I'd also like to thank Alderman LeBlanc for stepping in an agape sense. I love that out of the box, man.
Thank you. And just for the record, Clay Cooper ran that meeting. I can say that, he's not here. We'll keep that between us. Gary, thank you very much. And that's it, Hillary?
Yes, sir.
So next is the consent agenda. Are there any items that any member of the board would like to have moved down from the consent agenda for additional questions or comments? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you please read the items on the consent agenda?
Your Honor, the items on the consent agenda are as follows. Acknowledged receipt of advisory park board minutes for the September 17th, 2024 regular meeting. Acknowledged receipt of planning commission minutes for the November 7th, 2024 regular meeting and November 14th, 2024 special meeting. Acknowledged receipt of monthly contract report from November 4th, 2024 to December 2nd, 2024. Final reading of bill number 6506, an ordinance amending section 94-64 of the Branson Municipal Code pertaining to food trucks. Final reading of bill number 6507, an ordinance amending section 94-10 and appendix A fee schedule of the Branson Municipal Code pertaining to land disturbance. Final reading of bill number 6508, an ordinance amending section 18-8 of the Branson Municipal Code pertaining to stormwater best management practices, BMP requirement to address erosion. Final reading of bill number 6510, an ordinance approving contract amendments with Missouri State University related to the time extensions for the community development block grants for Compton Drive wastewater treatment plant project and Elevate Branson Tiny Homes project, and authorizing the mayor to execute the documents related thereto. And approval of Board of Aldermen minutes for November 26, 2024 study session and November 26, 2024 regular meeting. Your Honor, that concludes the reading of the consent agenda.
I have a motion approving all items on the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, would you take a roll call, please?
Lucas? Denham?
Yes.
Cooper? Howden? LeBlanc?
Yes.
Schultz?
Yes.
The result of the vote is 5-0. Motion carries. Your Honor, the next item is a public hearing and first reading of bill number 6511, an ordinance amending chapter 94, including but not limited to section 94-6, common practices and appendix A fee schedule of the Branson Municipal Code pertaining to requests for zoning verification.
We'll now open this public hearing and begin with the staff report from Amanda. Hello, Amanda.
Hello, Mayor, Board of Aldermen, City Administrator Stepp. Thanks for your time this evening. So the purpose of this zoning verification letter will provide an official verification of the zoning district and the allowed uses of a particular parcel on the date the letter is issued. These letters are an opportunity to easily get the necessary documentation for funding. The process for that would be apply for the request in our CitizenServe portal, pay the fee, and staff will research, draft, and issue the zoning verification letter. Staff proposes a $25 fee. And Planning and Development Department recommends approval of the proposed code amendment. The Planning Commission unanimously approved this amendment. I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
Thank you. Any members of the board wishing to speak to this? Anyone in the audience wishing to speak to this matter? So the public hearing is now closed. You've heard the first reading of bill number 6511. Do I have a motion approving this bill?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda.
Your Honor, this is the first reading of Bill Number 6512, an ordinance authorizing the issuance of $1,780,000 principal amount of tourism sales tax revenue bond series 2024 of the City of Branson, Missouri, and authorizing certain actions and documents relating thereto.
You've heard the first reading of Bill Number 6512. Do I have a motion approving this bill?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. We'll get a staff report from Tom Calico. Is he online?
He is joining us virtually.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the board.
Oh, Tom.
Good to be with you this evening and report on the sale of $1,780,000 of tourism sales tax revenue bonds. This follows up on your November 12th action resolution. You're expressing your intent to issue the bonds and engaging Stiefel Nicholas and Company as your placement agent. Since that date, we've been busy working on the sale of the bonds, and Stiefel, in its role as placement agent, solicited multiple banks for the purchase of the bonds, ultimately finding Simmons Bank as the bond purchaser. Some key terms of the bonds, obviously the principal amount, $1,780,000. It's a 10-year borrowing, 10-year term. The tax-exempt interest rate is 4.75%. It will be payable from revenues derived from the infrastructure portion of the tourism tax, and those revenues will be legally pledged toward repayment of the bonds. We will establish a debt service reserve with that borrowing in the amount of $115,000. And there will be a requirement that the annual pledged revenues need to exceed 1.5 times the debt service if we want to issue additional tourism sales tax revenue bonds. In our opinion, the terms are market competitive and are very comparable to the city's prior tourism sales tax revenue bonds. We did not obtain a rating, a bond credit rating in association with these bonds, as the purchaser, Simmons Bank, didn't require it, so it didn't make any sense to spend the money. I want to certainly recognize the excellent work of your city staff, Gilmore and Bell, and Stiefel Nicholas in putting this transaction together quite quickly. I will ask if the board is willing to do 2 reads on this tonight per regular. Basically, the municipal bond regulations require that Simmons needs to report this out, and to do that in a timely fashion, we need 2 readings tonight if the board is willing. With that, I'd be happy to respond to any questions.
Thank you, Tom. I think we ought to wait to get your first approval before you ask for a second read.
Just putting it on record there, Mayor.
Any member of the board have any questions or comments for Tom? Anybody in the audience have any questions? Hearing none, then let's vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it.
Your Honor.
Yes.
I move to read Bill Number 6512 for its final reading due to timing.
Do I have a second?
Second.
We have motion and a second. Any members of the board wishing to speak regarding this matter? Any audience member? Hearing none, we're going to vote to approve to have a second read. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Madam Clerk, would you please provide the introduction for this item?
Your Honor, this is the final reading of Bill Number 6512, an ordinance authorizing the issuance of $1,780,000 principal amount of tourism sales tax revenue bond series 2024 of the City of Branson, Missouri, and authorizing certain actions and documents relating thereto.
You've heard the final reading of Bill 6512. Do I have a motion approving this bill?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Any board members wishing to speak to this? Any members of the audience? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you please provide a roll call vote?
Lucas? Yes. Denham? Yes. Cooper? Howden?
Yes.
LeBlanc?
Yes.
Schultz?
Yes.
The result of the vote is 5-0. Motion carries. Your Honor, this is first reading of Bill Number 6513, an ordinance amending Section 2-229 of the Branson Municipal Code pertaining to tax increment financing commission bidding policies and procedures.
You've heard the first reading of Bill Number 6513. Do I have a motion approving this bill? We have motion and a second, and we'll get a report from Hillary. No running in the chambers.
Hello, I wanted you to see me from this side for a change. So this is a housekeeping item. Currently, our code stipulates that any TIF public hearings need to be advertised for 5 consecutive days, and our current circulation does not allow that. So all this is removing the 5 days and making it more generic to just be published in a newspaper of general circulation. Staff recommends approval.
So just briefly, we don't have any publications locally that publish 5 days, and our code says that we have to publish it 5 days, so we're just clearing this up.
Great.
Does any member of the board have any questions or comments? Anybody from the audience? Hearing none, let's vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. She has to what? And
Your Honor, this is the first reading of Bill Number 6514, an ordinance approving the contract with Southern Missouri Professional Firefighters Local Number 152, affiliated with the International Association of Firefighters, AFL-CIO CLC, pertaining to the acceptance of the 2025-2027 agreement known as the Collective Bargaining Agreement, and authorizing the mayor to execute the contract.
you've heard the first reading of Bill 6514. Do I have a motion approving this bill?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. We'll get a staff report from Ted Martin.
Mayor, members of the board, designated representatives from the city and the IAFF Local 152 have been meeting regularly to draft a collective bargaining agreement for the 2025-2027 time period. This proposed contract has been preliminarily agreed to by all parties involved in the negotiation process. The collective bargaining agreement is essentially a contract to be honored by the city and the members of the IAFF Local 152. The local shop represents the city's firefighters, engineers, and captains. The fire chief, the chief officers, the fire marshals, and the office assistants are not represented by the shop. The collective bargaining agreement maintains management rights for the operations of the fire department, including control of the budget, fire apparatus, fire stations, and personnel. The Local 152 agreed to a set of prevailing rights that essentially protects the current working conditions for our firefighters and the assets. The collective bargaining agreement take care of our number one resource, our employees, with a focus on providing and maintaining the most efficient fire rescue operations to our residents and visitors. A couple points, our city attorney has been engaged in this. Our city HR director, Haley, has been engaged. Captain Nate Jones, Nathaniel Jones, represents the shop, is here, and we'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any members of the board have any questions or comments? Marshall?
So this is a 3-year collective bargaining agreement with an annual approval, is that right?
It'd go for the time period 25 through 27, not annual, but you'll just see us one time tonight. They will most likely reopen occasionally for payroll, for example.
Yeah, and then annually during our budget process, we would address it. Any other questions, comments from the board? Questions, comments from the audience? Artie.
Whether this is the right time to say it or not, I just wanted to take the opportunity to thank Chief Martin and all of the firefighters for the great job they do protecting our city. And we couldn't find a better group.
Thank you. Got a great team.
Captain Nate Jones, I see you in the audience. My understanding is our city attorney, Haley, our city administrator, have all approved this. I'm trusting that 152 is satisfied with these negotiations. Do you want to share a few words?
Yes, sir. We are very satisfied with the outcome of the negotiations. We appreciate the cooperation on both sides of the table. And even though we had some compressed timelines with this, I feel like we came to a successful conclusion. So, thank you.
I'm assured there will not be compressed timelines next year.
Yes, sir.
Nate, thank you so much.
Thank you.
One more quick point.
Yeah.
We do meet monthly as a labor management team, something we've taken away from a conference that we attended that has been very beneficial to get started. And then if you prefer, we would ask for a double read as well tonight.
Mr. Mayor, just really quick, just an observation, and,
Yeah.
besides the compressed timelines, it's definitely reassuring to see the level of collaboration and cooperation that's happened over the last several of these meetings, not just this year, but even the prior year before, because, we've definitely come a long way in I guess, bringing this community together on every level. And I just acknowledge your leadership and the leadership of that
local
organization for sure. So thank you, guys.
Thank you, Ralph. Waiting for an alderman to turn the page.
We needed to vote on this one really quick on the first read,
Oh, before we go to a double read, you want to vote it on the first one.
just to get that one done. Yeah.
So, do I have a motion to approve?
So, second.
Same sign for opposed? Hearing none, motion approved. 5-0.
It's fine. We got it.
Oh, we want. I'm mind reading tonight. Why don't you all tell me what I want to hear?
Aye.
Everybody voted aye? Any opposed? Ayes have it. See?
We got it.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I move to read Bill number 6514 for its final reading due to timing.
Do I have a second?
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. Any member of the board wishing to speak to this?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Just so the public knows, it's at the end of the year. We've canceled our last meeting. Might be a reason for some of these more frequent double reads because we have to get some business done, especially before the end of the calendar year. So just want to let the audience know.
Marshall, thank you for sharing that. Any member of the board wishing to speak to approve a second read? Members of the audience? Hearing none, let's vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Madam Clerk, would you please introduce this bill?
Your Honor, this is final reading of Bill number 6514, an ordinance amending the contract with Southern Missouri Professional Firefighters Local Number 152 affiliated with the International Association of Firefighters, AFL-CIO, CLC, pertaining to the acceptance of the 2025-2027 agreement known as the Collective Bargaining Agreement and authorizing the mayor to execute the contract.
You've heard the final reading of Bill number 6514. Do I have a motion approving this bill?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Any members of the board wishing to speak to this? Any members in the audience? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you please provide a roll call vote?
Lucas? Denham?
Yes.
Cooper? Howden?
Yes.
LeBlanc?
Yes.
Schultz?
Yes.
The result of the vote is 5-0. Motion carries.
Ted, Nate, thank you very much. Oh, and Haley.
Your Honor, this is a final reading of Bill number 6515, an ordinance approving the contract with Missouri Department of Public Safety for the authorization to accept receipt of funds to support the use of previously grant-funded equipment and authorizing the mayor to execute the documents related thereto.
You've heard the first reading of Bill number 6515. Do I have a motion approving this bill?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. We'll get a staff report from EJ.
Mr. Mayor and Board, what this is this is a sub-award grant that is going to be used to maintain our Flock LPR system, camera system. Basically, the Flock cameras were purchased on grant funds, and this is a recurring grant. The board has already voted for a previous grant that was exactly like this, and these monies will go to the subscription and maintenance and cost of those cameras.
Great.
And we're requesting a double read for the last one.
Oh, this is to get the money.
Yes.
That shouldn't be an issue. Any members of the board have any questions or comments? Members in the audience? Hearing none, let's vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it.
I move to read Bill number 6515 for its final reading due to timing.
I have a second. We have a motion and a second. Any members of the board wishing to speak to this? Members of the audience? This time, we're going to vote to approve a second read. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it. Madam Clerk, would you please provide an introduction for this item?
Your Honor, this is the final reading of Bill Number 6515, an ordinance approving the contract with Missouri Department of Public Safety for the authorization to accept receipt of funds to support the use of previously grant-funded equipment and authorizing the mayor to execute the documents related thereto.
You've heard the final reading of Bill 6515. Do I have a motion approving this bill?
So moved.
Any members on the board wishing to speak to this?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, really quick.
Yes.
Just a comment, I think, kind of being a little overshadows the level of importance that this system has been in the city. I know it's allowed the Branson Police Department to apprehend some bad actors in our community that otherwise would not have been. And it's a fascinating system. When it was introduced, it was, kind of really cool idea. And now that it's operational, it's definitely a great effect. And I think it just makes this community a safer place and for our residents and for our visitors. So definitely worth the double read tonight.
Ralph, thank you so much for sharing that. That is so true. Any members of the audience wishing to speak? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you please provide a roll call vote?
Lucas? Denham?
Yes.
Cooper? Howden? LeBlanc?
Yes.
Schultz?
Yes.
The result of the vote is 5-0, motion carries. Your Honor, the next item is the canceling of the April 8th, 2025 Board of Aldermen meeting.
The motion. Do I have a motion approving the cancellation of April 8th, 2025 Board of Aldermen meeting?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any member of the board wish to speak to this?
Yeah, what is this?
So the reason we're canceling this meeting on April 8th is that's also Election Day, and we didn't want any conflicts of interest for timing for any reasons.
When I was on planning and zoning, standing out there, they'd sometimes call me, and I'm like, I'm not leaving these polls.
Yeah. Yeah, or we could all Zoom in, right? Any questions from the audience? Hearing none, let's vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Ayes have it.
Your Honor, the next item is appointments. The appointment process is in accordance with the Board and Committee Appointments Procedure for Category 2 appointments made by the governing body. The board will be voting by ballot, and on the two applicants receiving the most votes will be appointed to the Industrial Development Authority with terms expiring December 2023.
So we're wanting the board to vote, and Hillary, you'll be gathering them up?
That is correct. Yep. We need a motion and a
Do I
second.
have a motion to vote by ballot on the following applicants for the Industrial Development Authority? Well, hold on, I haven't read them yet. Justin Rhodes, Joey Thornson, and Derek Frederickson. Are any of you in the audience and would like to address the board?
Good evening, everybody. I think I know all of you personally, but as Mayor Milton said, my name is Derek Frederickson. I have lived in Branson since 2013. I moved here right after high school, all the way from Florida, and have made the conscious decision and on-purpose decision to stay in Branson. Got quickly involved in politics and then met my wife in that arena. And then you could say I'm recovered from that and have gotten in the private sector, have worked in insurance for 8 years now. And in my role, it allows me to really work with a lot of manufacturers, warehouse distributors, wholesale distributors, all those kind of things, and really think I'd bring a unique perspective of what they're facing and when they're wanting to relocate or find new places to do business. And so I also have a background, a portion of that insurance part was also mixed with finance, and so have a technical understanding of what the municipal bonds look like and the industrial bonds and different things like that. So I think I could bring a lot of the technical side and the background, but really where I think the value I'll bring is the passion around Branson. And the economic development is really a passion of mine. I serve on the Taney County Partnership Board of Directors, and so get to oversee and give feedback and really know what's coming down the pipeline. And so I think that exuberates my passion around our economic development and what Branson continues to, where we continue to grow, while maintaining respect to what we have, also continuing to try to find that year-round economy. And I think this board, along with the Industrial Authority, really has a unique opportunity to do so. So be happy to serve where I can, and appreciate what everybody's doing.
Very nice. Thank you very much, Derek.
Derek, thank you for coming tonight, bud. It shows a level of commitment, and we appreciate that.
And I also want to say thanks for your service on the Taney County Development Board. It's nice to see you working there.
Any other comments? So the board will be voting by ballot. Yeah. I was asked to remind all the board members in the community, there are 3 names submitted, and we are voting on 2 of the 3. We have 2 open positions. We got it.
Okay. Alderman Lucas voted for Justin Rhodes and Derek Frederickson. Alderman Denham voted for Justin Rhodes and Derek Frederickson. Alderman Howden voted for Justin Rhodes and Derek Frederickson. Alderman LeBlanc voted for Justin Rhodes and Derek Frederickson. And Alderman Schultz voted for Justin Rhodes and Derek Frederickson. So the 2 that are being appointed to the IDA are Justin Rhodes and Derek Frederickson.
I would like to thank all 3 that put their names in the hat, willing to speak up and be leaders in our community. Congratulations to Justin and Derek. And Joey, if you're listening, I'm going to encourage you to apply for another committee because we do better with great leadership. Thank you. Well, Alderman Cooper, it's 10 to 7 and we're on reports. I don't know if it's record-breaking. I think it is. Well, we'll see how long the reports take. Alderman Lucas, anything you'd like to share?
Nothing at this time.
What? Ruth?
I attended the Adoration Parade at last Sunday night. It was fantastic. Everybody did such a great job. Thank you to all the staff that donated time or served at the parade, and it was wonderful. It was difficult to even say, oh, I'll vote on this float or that float, because they were all fantastic, did a good job. Second of all, I just wanted to comment on Chairperson Gary Groman's comment earlier tonight. I wish I would have spoken up at the time because he's gone and Amanda is gone as well. But I sit as a commissioner on the Planning and Zoning Commission, and I concur with Chairperson Groman. The professionalism and the transparency that we have in the planning department is above board, and they're always available to answer questions. I don't think that anything that they do is not transparent, so I really appreciate that department, and it's a joy to work with them. And lastly, I would just like to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. We will see everyone next year, so have a good time with your family or whatever you're going to do.
Thank you, Ruth. Marshall?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, I want to echo that about just Christmas time, blessings to everybody. You know, I'm a family-oriented guy, and so every Christmas I think a lot about family, but as we've been gearing up to the holiday season this year, I've been thinking a lot about the boards that we've been able to populate as this coalition, really starting with when Brian Seitz first won, and then Larry, when you first won mayor. We've really been able to put some great people, like we did tonight, on some of our boards, and I consider them kind of part of our family. And everybody that sort of works together, whether it's TCED or planning and zoning, we've really been able to find a really great group of individuals who want to serve their community and who are like-minded and, quite frankly, want to keep Jesus as the reason for the season. So I just thank all of them, and Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Marshall. Ralph?
You yield your time to me? No. Yeah, Merry Christmas to everybody. I almost didn't, I forgot this was our last meeting, so I didn't prepare anything, so I'm kind of on the. No, just kidding. So, you know, I'm often reminded that service is the rent you pay for your space here on earth. And I just got to, you know, say from Kathy, directors, on down to entire staff and every person that works for the city, thank you, thank you, thank you for the level of service that you provide to this community. It is definitely being felt. It's definitely being appreciated by everyone in the community. And most importantly, I love seeing our city workers on the streets doing their job and doing it with a smile on their face. And that just brings me a lot of joy. Again, what a great year. It's been a busy year, and I'm looking forward to 2025 being a year of much more increase in quality of life for our community. We've definitely surmounted some hurdles, and I think we're on a path that not necessarily as smooth as we would like it, but it's definitely, we're not off on the ditch. We're on the Chad right now, let's just say, and no pun intended. So thank you all for everything you do. Thank you for the service. Thank you to the board members up here, Clay, Mayor, Ruth, Artie, Marshall, and Glenn. Thank you for all that you guys do. I learned something from you guys each and every time we meet, each and every time we interact. Representative Seitz, thank you for the lift that you provide for our community at a state level, because it's very, very important that we have that representation. And let's just say, brother, you represent us well. So thank you so much for that. So with all that, love your families, hug them tight. That's all I'm going to do. And Merry Christmas to everybody, and Happy New Year. See you next year.
Thank you, Ralph. Alderman Schultz.
Yeah, as we started this meeting tonight, I almost thought we shouldn't gavel it in because if you notice, we have two people that are just a regular fixture here at our meetings that aren't here this evening, Ira and Marie. And if you haven't heard, Marie's had some surgery today, and so Ira asked that we keep her in our prayers for her recovery, and of course, keep Ira in our prayers too for strength. And we hope they'll be back with us here in the beginning of the year again shortly. I too went to the Adoration Parade. I got to see it from the other end this year. First year of being at the staging end of things, and wow, what a well-run machine. The Chamber of Commerce, Ted Martin, whole bunch of volunteers just run an incredible scene over there. I couldn't believe how well orchestrated it was, how well practiced it was. It went off without a hitch. To get all those bands lined up, all the floats lined up, keep them in order so that the judges aren't confused. They did a great job. It was really fun to watch. Also, thanks to our police department and the Branson Citizens Police Academy Association for helping out with them. Overall, in the city crews that were out there, I saw them hauling signs and barricades and cones and all sorts of things, so it looked like an all-hands-on-the-deck event. But it was really nice. I think it really honored the faith part of our motto for our city very well. It's a great event to see, and it's nice that we can keep it so clean and focused on the true meaning of Christmas. And then, Mr. Mayor, I got a letter from one of our residents that really it should have come to you, and I'll read the letter and then I think you'll recognize why. The Parnell Park looks amazing. Many families are enjoying the children's playground, the newly resurfaced basketball court, and the 2 new pickleball courts. Thank you, Mayor and City Council, for providing this entertainment for our families. So the background on this is this person didn't know who their aldermen were, but they sure knew the mayor lived in their backyard, so they just called up the mayor, and he pushed the big button, and the city staff got after it right away. And so it really doesn't belong a thanks to the councilman. It belongs a thanks to the mayor and to Cindy Shook and her staff for doing such a good job on that. So thank you, Mr. Mayor, for stepping in for Artie's and my job on that event there. And then I too just want to wish everybody a very blessed Christmas. It's a great time to celebrate the birth of our Savior, spend time with the family, and have a safe and fun New Year as well. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Glenn. Kathy? I'll just quickly comment on that, Glenn. Actually, I got a phone call from a neighbor, and what she was asking was the grass was getting tall. and it wasn't getting mowed. So I called Cindy Shook, who's our boss in that world. Cindy said that the contractor, it's okay, Kathy, they were just behind. So the next day, Cindy did send out our crew and mow it, and she said, Mayor, we're also just now getting ready to make our improvements out there, so we're just gonna go out there and do it all at once. So once again, I look like the good guy, Cindy Shook carried the water on that. I also attended the Adoration Parade. I thought it was absolutely beautiful. I did feel the faith and the reason we all celebrate Christmas for sure. I also attended the Boys and Girls Club, had a ribbon cutting for the new pavilion. That thank you to the Rotary Club that provided that. This past Saturday, I attended a Veterans Wreath Ceremony. 1,100 wreaths were placed on headstones at our local cemetery for our local heroes who have passed, our veterans. We also celebrated Pearl Harbor Day. It was on the 7th, a very moving event. I can't go without recognizing Representative Seitz is in the audience with us as usual. He is really doing a stand-up job at the state and has recently been elected as the president of Veterans 913. So when you have an opportunity, shake Representative's hand and thank him because he is really providing our community a service. I was sorry to hear about Marie. Thank you for mentioning that. We'll keep her and Ira in our hearts and prayers. And with that, this is December 10th, the last board meeting of this year. January 14th is our first board meeting of next year, allowing this board 34 days of Marshall says we still get paid. No, Marshall, you only get paid when you attend board meetings, so you might be able to apply for unemployment going 30 days without pay. I wish our board and our community the happiest, merriest Christmas. Celebrate a new year, get rested up, because we have a lot to do in 2025. With that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have motion and a second. Meeting's adjourned. Thank you very much.